Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, I want to go back and revisit the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. I'm sure you saw that President Trump showed up there before President Biden, gave a very, very heartfelt speech there. I have a lot of things I want to unpack on this issue tonight, Ted, but I want to start with that. What's your take on President Trump showing up in Ohio before the Biden administration?
Well, the most glaring, painful reality of this East Palestine toxic train derailment is the failure of Uncle Sam and all the bureaucracies that are involved, from the EPA to the tax paid for rail industry, and the ineptitude and the failure to monitor the maintenance of the trains so that the brakes are going out. And equal to that embarrassment and tragedy and crime is the fact that Uncle Sam, under the gangster family of Joe Biden, will hire you based on color and homosexuality. Pete Buttigieg is hired because he's queer. That's his only requirement. By the way, homosexuality is not a qualification. Color of skin is not a qualification. Equity is racist. And that's why these tragedies continue to happen, because a guy who was hired strictly because he's gay, who has no qualifications, no talents, no ethics, no work ethic, he has no expertise in anything. He's put in charge of our transportation, our infrastructure, and this is what happens. And the horror, the tragedy, the crimes keep running amok the way the EPA is failing to do the right thing in that jurisdiction. The Ted Nugent band is trying desperately. We don't know if we can pull this off, get the band, the crew, the sound, the lights, the transportation. We're trying to put together a benefit concert for the great, great families of East Palestine, Ohio. We know these people right on the border of Pennsylvania. These are hardworking, great Americans, and they are being devastated by the failure of Uncle Sam. Once again, it's Uncle Sam that is hurting Americans. And perfect example of who's a leader and who's a scammer. Donald Trump showed his leadership once again. He went there and he helped the people in East Palestine, Ohio, after this Uncle Sam engineered environmental catastrophe. People are hurting. People are getting sick. People are suffering in East Palestine. And Buttigieg, hired only because he's a homosexual, that's not a qualification anywhere unless you're at a gay brothel. The point being is that he took 3 weeks to show up, which once again shows that Uncle Sam's guy doesn't give a rat's ass about we the people. Shame on you, Uncle Sam. Shame on you, Buttigieg. Shame on you, EPA. Shame on you, everything bureaucracy. They have failed dangerously once again.
And before I move on to the FAA, which is just startling to me, we were talking about the value of court TV yesterday, Ted. And Erin Brockovich, who you will recall, that Julia Roberts made a movie about what she did when she fought Hinckley, California over poisoned water there. She's up there in East Palestine warning the residents there against the long-term dangers of, what could occur and most likely will occur. I mean, it's easy to kind of brush over what's going on now, but the long-term effects is something that we need to be very careful of up there. So congratulations to her for standing up like that. Let's switch gears here. I'm sure you saw it, Ted. Again, pushing someone for a position in the Biden administration based on skin color or sexual proclivities, whatever it might be, without qualifications. Well, they're at it again. They've nominated Philip Washington to be the head of the FFA. I don't know much about Philip Washington other than he has no aviation experience. I mean, he came from the bus and the train background for many years in California. He got a job with the Denver airport in July, which was his first job in the aviation industry. And now Joe Biden wants him to be the head of the FFA. Now, train derailments are one thing, and we've had a lot of them under Pete Buttigieg. If you get a guy that's not qualified in the FAA, Ted, what are we doing here, and when does it stop?
This is not just cultural suicide. It's spiritual suicide, and it's America suicide. You can't hire a pilot. A pilot has to have special talents, special expertise, special qualifications. I can't think of many things in life except being a band member in my band, where your level of awareness to your surroundings and your performance and your duty to the paying customer is more dynamic than the Federal Aviation Administration and a pilot piloting a jet, a plane full of passengers. And they are hiring pilots based on color of skin and homosexuality. I have no problem with any color of skin. I've never, ever judged anybody by color of skin. And I got a bunch of gay friends that I snuggle with. I mean, I have no problem with that. But they're not qualifications. Color of skin is not a qualification. Homosexuality is not a qualification. And the president, this gangster, punk-ass, treasonous, oath-violating Joe Biden, has come right out and said that he's going to start continue and increase the hiring people based on color of skin and, as you said, gender sexual proclivity. I don't think that's really a proclivity. I think it's a condition. And these are going to, Tucker Carlson said it best recently. People are going to die. There have already been tragedies and death because people were hired to fly planes based on color of skin and homosexuality. I've seen a lot of insanity in my life, but this takes the insanity cake. This is a dangerous, dangerous condition as being perpetrated by this Joe Biden gangster, destroy America at all costs administration. We've got to reverse this. We cannot hire people based on color of skin and sexual proclivity. This is death awaiting us at the door.
Maybe to bring this full cycle, Ted, maybe Joe Biden should hire his personal Secret Service team based on color of skin, sexual proclivities, add in a few gender confused individuals and so on down the line. Final word.
Final word. America is based on being the best that you can be. We have the greatest quality of life in the history of the human experience. Because dedication, work ethic, cultivating of our dreams and our hopes and our talents has created a technical advance beyond anywhere else in the world. And that's based on the man in the arena that keep putting our heart and soul into being the best that we can be so we can provide the best services, the best creations, the best entrepreneurial arenas. And now Joe Biden is flushing all that excellence and all that meritorious history of America down the toilet and being as racist can be. And that's by hiring based on color and homosexuality. Literally, look at his spokes thing at the press conference every day. She has no qualifications. He hired her because of the color of her skin and that she's gay. This is America is really, really angry because this is so wrong. This is sinful. This is treasonous. This is a death wish on America, especially when it comes to hiring pilots, not based on qualifications, but based on appearance. Keith, we better start putting pressure on elected employees like never before. And that's what we're doing here at the Nugent House.
Well, Ted, tomorrow, which is the Friday free-for-all, I want to kind of continue a theme we've had this week about spotlighting what's going on. I'm seeing a little trend here where some celebrities are willing to step forward, poke a little fun at the administration and what's going on and pronouncing their faith. We'll talk about all that tomorrow night right here on the Friday free-for-all edition of the Nightly Nude. See you tomorrow, Ted.
You got it.